What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about another Amazon relay topic. It's a pretty frequently asked question, and people just want to know, what are your day-to-day activities at Amazon relay? So today we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to cover a couple other bases. Before I go into this though, I do want to say I've already made videos talking about if you need a CDL for Amazon relay, how much you'll be making on average working for Amazon relay, and why I quit Amazon relay, and things like that. So all those videos can be found on my channel if you're looking for those specific questions. But today we're going to be talking about just what your day-to-day activities are going to be, just like a regular day working at Amazon relay once you're already trained and everything, okay? Because once you start off, every company's different, okay? Some want you to do training, and some just kind of throw you in there with like a teammate or something. The company that I work for did do like a 2-day training process where you drove with one of their senior drivers, and he basically like forced you to drive in the worst conditions just to make sure you're good. Like, for instance, my first day ever, I had to drive only like 3.5 hours. Like, we went like a 7-hour trip, and he drove the 3.5 down and explained everything and blah blah blah. And when he got there, he said, "All right, I want you to drive the way back." So on the way back, I drove, and it just happened to be a rainstorm. It was my first time ever driving a box truck or anything that size, and it was super bad. And this guy was on me to really, you know, push the speed limit as fast as I could. I think his truck went like 75, and we were in like a 65-mile-per-hour speed limit area. So he wanted me to go 75 and a 65 during a rainstorm, which was scary, of course, but I made it. I'm not sure if everybody's going to have experience like that, but with that aside, your day-to-day activity at Amazon, once you're all set up and you're doing your job normally, everything. So most likely, if you work for a logistics company, you're going to be going to like your truck yard. Usually they own an area, or they rent out somewhere to park all their trucks. If you own your own truck, you're already going to have your truck, so this part you will skip, okay? After that, you hop in your truck, you get on your Amazon relay app, which is an app they have you download when you drive for them. If you're an owner-operator, the system may be slightly different, but for me, I worked at a logistics company, so they just put in all my information for me, gave me my login on Amazon relay, and then everything that they did would show up on mine, but at the same time, I couldn't change things. They could only change it. So when I would get loads, they would pop up on Amazon relay, but it was my company accepting the loads, and then they can assign them to drivers and whatnot. So anyway, so you'll go on your phone, you'll open up Amazon relay, and you will basically start your day. You're gonna start your way to the Amazon relay factory or whatever, and you can hit that on the app, and it will give you directions. The app is an all-in-one thing. It's a scanner for your boxes, it's directions, GPS, direct contact with like customer service and other people who work for Amazon, and it's a way to cancel your loads or say if you'll be late and whatnot. That's a whole nother story I'll talk about. But anyway, so you go to the Amazon facility. Depending on your load, a lot of times they'll let you in like a half hour early at the most. And you kind of want to be early just so you have a little leniency in case you go in there and there's something crazy going on, which is a lot more often than you would imagine. So you go to the gate, there's a guy at the gate. Everybody has to wear safety vests. So the driver has to be wearing a safety vest once he gets to the gate, and the guy at the gate has a safety vest on as well. Everybody also has a lanyard on, which your first day, they have you go to the Amazon security and they get you one made up. At first it'll be a temporary vendor's license, and then you'll get your own with your name on it and your face and everything. But you go to that guy, and on your phone, on the Amazon relay app, you're going to tell it that you're at the factory or whatever. He scans the code. It's like a QR code. It tells him all your information. He looks on there based on the code and what time your pickup is, and tells you what dock door you're going to. So you drive out of there, And it's a 15-mile-per-hour limit in Amazon, okay? And they're dead serious about this. They are freaking crazy about the 15-mile-per-hour thing. So please, for the love of God, drive 15 miles per hour, folks. Anyways, you also have your hazards on there flashing, this and that. And everything's kind of flipped, you know. It's in drop yards like that and loading docks, it's very common for people to drive on the opposite side. So, you know, when you come in, you'll be going on the left side while people are passing you on the right, even though you just drove in on the right and they were on the left. So it's kind of weird, but it has to do with, you know, the dock doors and people dropping and receiving. And this is like 90% of Amazon facilities. So anybody who drives for Amazon already knows what I'm talking about. So you dock at your door. You go inside, there's like a little gate thing. You have to swipe your vendor's ID or whatever, and it buzzes you in. The first thing they do right now, currently, is they take your temperature, which is a new feature due to COVID, of course. They take your temperature. If you're good to go, you should already know your route number, but you can ask somebody there what your route number is, because depending on what your route number is where your pallets will be. Okay, so you look up on the ceiling hanging there, there's different signs, route 201, 204, 203, you know, you go to yours and that's all your pallets. So if you know you got 1 or 5 stops at night, you look on your phone, okay, and based on the order you're going there, you want to put the stuff that's going to the last drop into your truck first. And you want to go in reverse order, okay? This is very important. You put your pallets that are getting out of your truck last in first, okay? A lot of idiots make this mistake. But, so you put them in order, so when you're dropping stuff off, it's just right up front the whole time. And you're moving back through your truck. All right? And you're going to have a bunch of pallets there. They're supposed to be at your dock door, but they're really not 90% of the time. They just leave them somewhere in the factory, which is BS too. You have to walk like 10 minutes to go get each pallet, and you have to make that trip for up to 12 pallets. Plus, there's usually like a bunch of single boxes as well that you have to scan. But anyway, so you get on your Amazon app and you scan each one of these pallets, okay? And it will tell you if it's a pallet, Gaylord, or like a single package box. Or they call them parcels, I believe. And you scan all the different packages, okay? And they're going to tell you where they're going and this and that. And you put them in the truck in the order you're going. And you close your door and all that. You know, you'll be using a pallet jack for this. And they usually come on your truck. If not, Amazon has some around. But you really want to have them in your truck, because when you go to the post offices later that night, you're going to need one. So, anyways, you have to check out with Amazon. You tell them I have this many pallets, I'm going to this and this place, blah, 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 dock, whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. Yep, they fill out your stuff and you're good to go. So then you tell your app that you're leaving, and it will start your route. It gives you full GPS directions and everything to where you're going and in the order that you're supposed to go. You follow it to the post office, okay? Now, some post offices you pull up and it's kind of obvious what dock door you're going to. But something I did, especially if it was in a busier area or a big city, I would pull somewhere out of the way and go in and ask them, because if they had 10 dock doors, it's kind of hard to know which one to go to. And if you just guess, you're most likely going to have to move anyway, so you might as well ask them. Some of the smaller post offices, you know, they only got 1 or 2 dock doors. It's kind of obvious. But then again, sometimes it helps to check with them also, because they get their own mail truck, okay? So just like we deliver Amazon packages in a box truck, they get a box truck every single day full of mail, okay? And they give them higher rank over us. So a lot of times, 99% of the time, if you and that mail truck shows up at the same time, they say, we're going to take the mail truck first and then you can come. So, and I've even been docked and they say, hey, move so he can get in here first. And that happens a lot, because some of these post offices are cramped and they have to get their mail in first, and then they'll leave the Amazon pallets on their dock and slowly break them down as they go. And so anyways, you find out what dock door you're going to. You go inside, and they're going to say, yeah, go ahead and put them over here. Now, some companies will tell you, don't bring it past the dock. Just drop it at the dock and the rest is their responsibility. But it don't really work like that, because when you go to the post office, these people are pretty upset if you do that. They want you to bring it into the area where they're going to be breaking it down. And 90% of the time, they're little old ladies who, you, in your right mind, who would say, no, you move all these pallets, you old lady. No, I'll move them for her. You know, I'll put them over there real nice and stuff. And then they'll, you know, you'll get to know these people because you're going to be going there often and you want them to be on a good vibe when you get there. You know, if you get to arguing with these people, you're just going to see them every day anyways. You might not go there every day, but you'll see them a lot over the time because there's so many post offices in an area that you'll be going to anyway. So anyway, so you go in there and say that your first stop only gets like 4 of these pallets, okay? You scan the 4 pallets just like you did when you put them in. Now you're scanning them out with your phone. You use your pallet jack to put them where they want. You close and lock your door and all that. There's a stopper for your pallet jack. So when you put your pallet jack in there, you got the rubber stopper. Some of these, you know, Ukrainian companies or whatever, they just strap it to the wall, I guess, but that's not the safest. And a lot of these young kids, they don't do anything. They just throw their pallet jack in the back of the truck and it rolls all around. But anyways, you'll make your stops at these post offices, and at the end of the day, you drive it back to your shipyard, usually, where you picked up your truck. Unless you're owner-operator, you go home at this point, and you drop off your truck. That whole process is very simple. These days can vary. The hours depend on your route and whatnot and the companies you work for. But that's the basics of it. You know, you go to your shipyard, you pick up your truck, you go to Amazon, you pick up the pallets, you take the pallets to the post offices, depending on which they are. And sometimes they can be, you know, a hassle to deliver to. You know, some of these places ain't the easiest to get your lift gate down, or they're places that require a lift gate and you don't have a lift gate, or vice versa. You know, they're a place that you have to dock into without a lift gate, but it's extremely complicated to get in there. You're going to run into lots of different situations, and the best thing you can do as a driver is to go slow and think about everything you're doing. Plan it out. You know, get out of the truck and look, how much room do I got? I always will get back there and I'll plan, okay, I got to turn my wheel a little to the left and come back about 3 feet, because you can only tell so much up in that truck. So you're going to have to get really good at kind of eyeballing and guessing and knowing about where you're at, you know. And once you drive a truck pretty often, and especially if it's the same truck, you'll learn the ins and out of that vehicle and how it feels and how it looks when it's close to things. And that's very important. I tell people that all the time. If you are going to work for a logistics company, try to get in a situation with them where you'll at least be driving the same vehicle every day. Because if you're driving a different truck every day, you can have some serious issues. And I've had that happen to me being a driver. I had my own truck that they gave me to use, but every time it would break down, I'd be truck hopping. And when you're truck hopping between these guys who's on their day off, it's a different truck every night and a different feel, different sizes sometimes, different brakes, you know, like everything's different. So definitely try to get the same truck if you can, but that's the day-to-day breakdown on what you'll be doing at Amazon Relay. So for any more questions, leave comments. Feel free to message me personally. Like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to see more Amazon videos in the future. Also, we've been doing other videos. Feel free to check those out and stay for those. I'll be doing more Amazon videos in the future if you want to see those. Otherwise, like I said, I made videos on how much you'll be making at Amazon Relay, if you need a CDL for Amazon Relay, and why I actually quit working for Amazon Relay, if you want to check those out. So thanks guys, stay tuned for more. Don't forget to smash the like, and I'll see you next time.